everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Veach Season. We are your guest hosts, Rocky Magaña and Kramer Sansone. Obviously, Brett Veach cannot be here today for obvious reasons. He's cranking up in preparation for the draft, as well as he's binge watching Temptation Island on Netflix, and also Love is Blind, and also Married at First Sight. I mean, he is just a slut for these like marriage, love.
Is he also watching that one down in Mexico where Montoya and his getting his heart broken?
Yeah, he's watching that one. He's also watching he's a gritty and grimy guy. So he's also watching Alone Australia, which I mean, this is no shade to our Australian brethren out there, but I feel like
Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi. Oi, oi, oi. I feel like the Alone, the North American Alone is a little bit harder because they drop them off in the middle of the Yukon in the wintertime. They have to survive. This one, they drop them off in Tasmania, and they're like, oh, it's some rainstorms, and it's hard to fish here because there's lots of weeds and bramble and trees. And like half of the contestants drop out, not because they're starving or they don't have shelter, but because they're just like, oh, I miss my friends and family, and that's what's most important to me. And they just leave.
And
you're like,
sign up.
I'm like, what are you doing? Like, yeah, like, are you kidding me? Like the lady who ends up spoiler alert, the lady who ends up winning it is like it's like somebody who basically has no home to go home to and no friends or family.
Jeez, yeah, it makes sense.
She's like, I could just stay out here forever, you know. And she like,
I'm at home out here.
Yeah, she's a hermit who like lives in the woods by herself normally. And she's like, this is just the same thing in a different place.
How long could you do it?
Me? Well, it depends on where I'm at. And like the Yukon, like if they do like the Alone, where you're like in the middle of the blistering winter, I feel like as long as I can fish and then like scavenge for roots and stuff, I think I can last a while. Like I got enough on me I can live for a bit. I can go days without eating. I went 2 weeks one time without eating.
How'd you survive?
Drink water. Your body can survive for quite a while with no food.
How skinny did you get?
I got pretty skinny. But the craziest thing about when you go 2 weeks without eating is there's no food going into your body, so there's no poop coming out. Yeah. And so like 3/4 of the time you don't poop at all, and then whatever is left in your body all comes out in like one poop. And like it's like pooping out a baked potato. It's like the size of a potato. It's just so hard that like it gets stuck halfway out.
You have to like grab it and pull it out.
You literally I had to get like chopsticks and like get it on either side. Make like a little like poop potato like snowman, and then just pull them out. And then it was like a whoop, and then drop it in the toilet. But then you have to go flush, and it was bigger than the pipe, so it just like hit hit the thing and like bounced off and like floated back up to the top of the water.
So why did you do this?
Me? It was one of those things where endurance. You're young and you're 20. Yeah, you're like, hey, can I go 2 weeks without eating? Let's
save some money.
Listen, I didn't have any money back then anyway. I was 20 years old. I had no money anyway. It was more just a it's like an endurance thing. But it was interesting because 48 hours in, you stop being hungry and you just get tired. Like your body's like, oh, well, there's no food coming, so let's just conserve energy and start shutting down.
Which makes sense.
And you just get tired and you just sleep a lot. Like I took a shit ton of naps. And your brain moves a little bit slower, like you feel a little bit more groggy. But all that being said, like if I could get a steady enough stream, like also I was a wrestler growing up, so I'm also used to starving myself and then binge eating when there is food available. And so like I could like literally starve myself for a week and then like kill a moose and then just eat like 15 pounds of protein.
I got to eat
all daily. And so I could do it for a while. I don't think I'd be that person. I might get lonely because I do love my family and I do love people and I'm a pretty social person.
Yeah.
But I work from home right now, Monday through Friday, and I don't see anybody but my wife and kids anyway. So I'm basically alone in the universe as it is for 3/4 of my life. So it's like I can handle it. I
feel like you could, yeah.
I can handle.
Probably do a week in like say Alaska's climate. But put me up near like Mount Hayes.
Yeah, like that's the thing is this Australian one was in Tanzania, and it's like they were like, oh, the average temperature is between like 75 degrees and like 40 degrees, and I was like,
That's not bad, but it's the stuff around it that would get you. Like I would never
yeah,
want to do a tropical environment. Screw that. Like you're gonna
well,
be wet the entire time, and you also have so many damn bugs that could actually kill you. Yeah, I'm good. But you
I
could
mean,
eat the bugs.
I lived in the Philippines for 3 years. Like, that's fine. I'm okay with that. It's the wet that I think that would get you. It's like if it's just like cold and wet because like it gets in your bones.
Oh yeah,
But as long as you got a flint and you're able to like keep some wood
fire.
somewhat dry or keep a fire going, like that's like you always see these people. Someone will put off like building their shelters until like
That's the
a
first
week
thing
and a
I'm
half
doing.
after being there, and I'm like, dude, as soon as you hit the ground running, when you still have strength and you're not tired and hungry yet, like build yourself a bomb ass shelter.
Yep.
Like some people build like full on log cabins, and those people stay for like ever because they got like they have a full on
You got a house.
they have a fire. Like, I saw people in that show make full fireplaces and shit, and you're like, yeah, you're just like living there. And I'm like, see, that's what you got to do because then all you got to do is worry about getting food, and food can be hard and food can be scarce. But I feel like as long as you're consistently trying, you can at least bring in something.
Right.
I mean, obviously, it's easy on this end to say I could stay for a while, but I think as long as I'd be able to fish and get food, I could stay for quite a while. I could make it happen.
I agree.
And so
Beach season, baby.
beach season. Speaking of beach season, there was something else that so this is completely off topic, and
that's all right. It's the first 10 minutes of the show. It's good.
The first 10 minutes of the show, so I can still ramble about stupid shit. So my oldest is 4 years old, right? He's in daycare.
Uh-huh.
And he comes home from school today, and he's so funny, but he looks at me and my wife and he goes, I was going to sit next to my friend who's this little girl that he always sits next to in class. He's like, I was going to sit next to this little girl that I usually sit next to in class at circle time, but I decided to sit in front of Barrett, this other little boy, instead. And we were like, well, why did you decide to do that? He goes, just because I looked at him and I saw him in his face and my heart just told me to. And I was
okay, like, all right.
Like, oh, what a precious little kid. I was like, geez, Louise. And then immediately after that, he looks at my wife and goes, Mommy, when I was a baby, first of all, before I tell the rest of the story.
When I was a baby.
Yeah. When I was a baby. So he says two things. He says, when I was a baby, he also says, when I was your size and you were my size. Like he thinks that we just like swap sizes throughout life, right? Like when I get old, he gets big, so I get small. It's like a Benjamin Buttons thing where like
right, gotcha.
Really going in a circle and taking care of each other. But he calls nipples nickels. And so he goes, Mom, right at the dinner table, right after he said that he sat with his boy because his heart told him to. We're like, oh, what a sweet kid. He goes, Mommy, when I was a baby, I used to lift up your shirt and just gobble on those nickels. And me and my wife both just lost our shit. Just completely lost our shit. Because like he made like a motorboating look on his face too. He was like, gobble on those nickels.
Oh, and, that's amazing. That's a beach season, baby. Oh
beach
man,
season,
that's amazing.
I was like, listen, kid, before you were around and ruining everything for me, Daddy used to gobble on those nickels as well.
I bet so.
And so I'm just waiting for you assholes to get out of the way so Daddy can gobble on those nickels once more. So that being said, what's up with Krame Dog?
So this is the week of opening day, and your boy actually went out to Kaufman the other day and actually taste tested some food that is some new menu items over at the Case. Whenever you go to a Royals game this year, they somehow let myself in, and I was able to eat a lot of food. And I'll tell you what, I ate a lot of food. Some things that I did enjoy was the if you're out there, the Kaufman fried chicken quesadilla. It's mashed potatoes, crispy fried chicken, corn, gravy, cheddar cheese, and green onions. That by far was probably the tastiest thing I had out there. But they also had tomahawk steak, which I didn't realize you could get tomahawk steak at a baseball game. And the funny thing is, all the media people that were there were just trying off the new and improved type menu items. I loaded my plate up with so much steak, like you would not like. It's Gain City right there. But no, it was good. It was fun. It's odd being at Kaufman and no one's there basically, and you're just there to eat food. Which by the way, it's free food. Oh yeah, I gorged myself, and I did. I wish I could have gotten the blue whippy pie that's on there. It's Slugger's whippy pie. It's like a blueberry-esque, but there's this menu item that they have that is a 2 things of waffles, cream cheese filling, had blueberry in it, so basically like a blueberry waffle, I should say, and some fruity pebbles around the side of it. Man, that was a dessert item for like I have to get that again. It was so good.
I feel like in the United States of America, when it comes to desserts or just menu items in general, chefs these days are just like, okay, let's take a thing that everybody knows what it is, and then add some wild shit to it, and
see what happens.
And then roll it in some other wild shit, and then think about like, okay, what's something that people had when they were kids, and sprinkle that on top of it, and we have a menu. We have a home run menu.
Oh yeah. It's kind of like when I go to Cardinals games. There's the Go Chicken Go area. There's you can get a spicy chicken sandwich. You can get it's on 2 donut buns and bacon, cheese, and my goodness, so good. I can't wait to go out to the Busch Stadium and get that. I love trying those weird things at ballparks.
I mean, it's the ballpark fair is half the reason to go, right? You you go for the game, but obviously you also want to go and see what food is there, and you also want to take in like the field, right? You want to take in the stands. You want to take in what are the ground rules. I always love like looking up the ground rules at whatever stadium you go to, because baseball is awesome in the sense that every stadium has its own rule book, essentially, right? You know, like Houston had that hill in the middle of center field that was like an inside the park home run if it landed there, you know, forever.
Oh, yeah, basically, yeah. Because if you're hitting that deep, which, by the way, Jim Edmonds made a nice little backwards catch to catch that thing up on that hill.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, that's awesome. Or then there's the Green Monster. They're like, okay, we're going to move this fence way in, but then make it 35 feet tall.
Love it.
You know, and so, yeah, it's awesome. Like, it's one of the greatest things about baseball. We're like, okay, at this stadium, the wall goes like this. There's a closet out in center field that the ball can roll into. That thing gets stuck. And then
it's almost like playing backyard baseball with how the dimensions were playing those video games.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's insane. And it's part of the beauty of the game of baseball and like the nostalgia to it. I can't imagine, though, playing at the old Polo Grounds like they did back in like the 30s.
Oh, I would love to, because it was like, what, 130 down the side?
Yeah, like, well, yeah, it was like 130 down the side, but center field was like 800. Yeah, no, yeah, because it was a Polo Ground, and so it was just like straight long, right? And like there's just you just hit the straightaway center, and if it got over the center fielder's head, it could just roll until Jesus came back.
That's why it was incredible when Mays made that catch, the behind the shoulder, over the shoulder catch out there in center.
Yeah, and so I mean, like some of the greatest stadiums, you know, are the old school ones.
Also, it doesn't get talked about enough, the guy who hit that ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Who was it?
I have no idea. I'm gonna look it up right now.
I'm just gonna say it was Harmon Killebrew.
Two different areas.
It wasn't, but I'm gonna say it was Harmon Killebrew just because that sounds like a good answer.
Polo Grounds.
I guarantee you it wasn't Mike Schmidt, but with your mustache and your glasses, I'm getting strong Mike Schmidt vibes from you right now.
Vic Wirtz.
Oh, Vic Wirtz.
Played for the Cleveland Indians or Cleveland Guardians.
He put some words into it.
He put a lot of his words into it, apparently.
He put a lot of words into it.
Who is this guy? How many dongs did he hit in a year?
That
dude has some.
Depends off before or after he went to prison.
266 home runs. That year, what year was that? That was 1954. Played for 2 teams that year. Only 14 home runs, 15 home runs that year. No, he got traded 3 times that year. No, 2. 15 home runs that year.
What a great podcast this is about football.
Yes, sir. Veach season, baby. I love baseball.
This is the Vic Wirtz.
But also, the Z-Man is at
the draft podcast. Oh, I love it. I love the Z-Man. You know what? You know what the most underrated sandwich at Joe's Barbecue is?
I
Is
only get one thing. It's a Z-Man.
I know, but I'm gonna tell you what to try.
Okay.
You're gonna want to get a rocket pig with jalapenos on toast instead of a bun.
On toast.
On Texas toast instead of a bun.
I like Texas toast anyways over a bun. So oh yeah, that actually sounds
Yeah.
pretty good. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, you
I
should
love
try it.
barbecue. Had
Everybody
barbecue
out there
tonight.
try it. Oh my god, I mean, living in Florida, it's like the one thing I miss because it's like you barbecue and Mexican food are the two greatest types of food in the world, and you can't get either one of them in Florida. That's worth a shit. I mean, it's
You'd
like
think you would
it's
get
not,
some it's Mexican food. You'd think, but
no
I get
Cuban.
some
A
good
lot of
Cuban.
Cubans get a shit ton of good Cuban food. Cuban food, you
It's
can't
good.
you can't walk out the door without tripping over like some good Cuban food, but you want an actual like burrito or fajitas or a torta or something like that, you're shit out of luck. It's they're basically putting ketchup on top of microwave burritos and selling it in restaurants.
Don't even. That's so
Yeah,
gross.
it's nasty ass
I've
shit.
started to hate ketchup. Man,
Yeah,
started to
really.
hate it. Yeah.
Are
Don't
you
like it.
pregnant?
No. God, knock on wood. I don't want the other one pregnant either. It's
Yeah.
not like I see her enough, anyways. I mean, she doesn't live here during the weekdays or weekends.
All it takes is one time, Kramer.
Been watching too many mock draft stuff and draft coverage. I'm screwed for the last 4 months, weeks.
I tell you what, when my wife got pregnant with my oldest, we were engaged but not married. And that's the beginning of COVID, and we used a condom, and we still got pregnant anyway.
Get that super sperm.
Well, yeah, I do have Rambo super sperm. I may not look like it, but my sperm are strong as shit. Like they are some strong ass swimmers. But that's why I had to shut off the machine. That's why I had to shut it down.
Oh, gotcha.
And I closed off the pipes because I was going out with a loaded gun every single time, and it was just
smart.
dangerous. But like I had bought in the condoms on Amazon.
That's your first mistake.
Yeah, that was my first mistake. So then, of course, Amazon messages me like the day after we find out she's pregnant. It's like, hey, will you review this product? So I went on there. If you go on there today, the review's still on there. It says, bought these condoms. My fiance is now pregnant. 1 star.
I gotta find this review. Find this review.
So I'll post it on Twitter this week for everybody.
You should.
To see, but
you should.
Yeah. All right. So that being
Veach
said,
season.
Veach season, baby. It's that time of the year. So, first of all, no new reviews this week, people.
Boo. Or even comments in the YouTube section. What's going on?
After like a stellar week of 2 reviews and then a comment on the YouTube section, you guys are back to batting goose eggs over here. Like, just it doesn't take that much time to just log in and call us a bunch of just give us a thumbs up or call us thirsty bitches or whatever you want to call us. That say stop begging for reviews, you thirsty bitches, you Hawk Tua wannabe mofos. Like whatever you want to call us, like we're okay with it. I hear she's getting extra. Hawk Tua's getting they're making a documentary about her.
Yeah, did you see that she like gypped millions of dollars from her fans?
No.
They're a crypto scam?
God, I mean, wouldn't you? Like it's your one shot.
No, because she's going to federal prison. You can't just do that.
Well, I wouldn't do that, but I'm
you just can't.
But like it's like for instance, like I was telling my wife today, we're gonna get to football here eventually. But I was telling my wife today that like I saw that 23andMe is going out of business and looking for somebody to buy it. And I was like, babe,
terrifying.
Yes, terrifying. But I was like, babe, we should buy it and then just clone a bunch of people and then have them do crimes and then give us like the proceeds from it. And then the actual people will go to jail for it because we'll dispose of the clones. They're just clones. They're not real people.
Oh my gosh.
Now we're getting into like some serious sci-fi, like storyline, like morality.
This is how stormtroopers are made. I knew Star Wars was legit. I knew it's based on a true story. We're getting there.
This is how every sci-fi movie starts out, right? Something like this.
Oh, easily.
But you just like, yeah.
You did 23andMe. Or did you do
I did ancestry.com. So
okay,
believe me, I was looking when I saw, I was like, wait a minute. Nope. I'm good for now. But these other a-holes, like we could totally just clone their bodies. And then what if we like mix like DNA so that we could do multiple crimes,
like hybrids,
multiple people? Yeah. Right. You know what I mean? And just have like a crime spree. You don't have to have like control like 1,000 clones. You just need like 3 or 4 clones that you have like 1,000 people's DNA mixed into them to make super soldiers.
They keep the DNA after they go through all the testing.
You know they do.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, that's a dumb.
You know it's all a government. Are you not a conspiracy theorist?
Oh no, that's why I'd go to Mount. That's why I'd go to Mount Hayes to see if there's a pyramid inside the mountain.
Yeah, I mean, like there's literally a database of everybody's DNA already in the world. Like that, like what you think they just made Pokemon Go because they just wanted to randomly just like just give you a fun way to play Pokemon on your phone. No, the CIA used it to map the inside of people's houses.
No, that's
everybody knows
that's what that's what China did.
Exactly. Like the guy who developed Pokemon Go was the same person who developed Google Maps Street View for Google Maps. And it's all about just mapping mapping the world and then having and so they got everything on the street with Google Street View, and then they got everything inside people's houses with Pokemon Go.
That's just terrifying. That's insanely terrifying. I'm trying to push a cat away so it doesn't try to knock over shit right now.
And I appreciate that because I like you not knocked over in the middle.
Like last week, yeah. We're not going 2 for 2. Get your ass down.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
All right, but the official poet laureate of each season,
he came through.
He came through like a champ again. After he gave us that beautiful song, he has given us a complete short story.
I murdered
for
that
me to
song.
read and perform this week. I know, and he did not. He was gracious enough not to yell at us for butchering his work. And so we have he sent us a pleasant short story about never quitting, it says, and it's called Crocky J and the Fumble Frenzy by the official Veach season poet laureate, Mr. Larry Quinn Jr. I will now perform it to the best of my ability. Crocky J and the Fumble Frenzy by Larry Quinn Jr. Crocky J wasn't your typical alligator. Sure, he had the sharp teeth, the tough scales, and the mean glare, but he had one thing no other alligator in the swamp had: an undying love for football. Every evening while the other gators lounged in the sun or practiced their terrifying death rolls, Crocky J would be out on the field gripping a worn-out pigskin between his mighty jaws, dreaming of making the winning touchdown. There was just one problem. Crocky J had the worst case of butterfingers, or rather, butter claws, anyone had ever seen. No matter how hard he tried, he just couldn't hold on to the ball. It slipped, it slid, it shot out of his grip like a greased up catfish. Come on, Crocky J, hold on to the dang ball, shouted Coach Mudbucket, a grizzled old turtle who had somehow become head coach of the Swamp Stompers. I got it this time, Coach. I swear, Crocky J replied, adjusting his helmet, which was just a turtle shell he found floating down in the bayou. But the second the ball was snapped, it hit his claws, bounced off his snout, ricocheted off a tree, and landed right in the jaws of Benny the Bobcat, who promptly ran it back for a touchdown. The crowd of swamp critters groaned. Crocky J.
Come on, Crocky.
Man, come on, you old gator bitch. The Swamp Stompers had never won a game. With Crocky J's fumble rate higher than the mosquito population, things weren't looking good. But Crocky J had heart. He refused to give up. The final game of the season arrived. The Stompers were down by 5 points with only 10 seconds left on the clock. They needed a miracle. Coach Mudbucket sighed and muttered, well, it's now or never, Crocky J. This one's on you. The ball was snapped. Crocky J grabbed it. Barely. He sprinted down the field, eyes locked on the goal line. The crowd held its breath. Then, of course, the ball slipped. But this time, something incredible happened.
What,
Instead of
Rocky?
falling to the ground, the ball bounced off Crocky J's knee, hit a branch, flipped backward, landed on his tail, and before he even realized it, Crocky J had accidentally flicked it into the end zone with his tail. Touchdown! The Swamp Stompers won! The crowd went wild. Coach Mudbucket nearly had a heart attack. From that day on, Crocky J wasn't just known as the clumsiest player in the swamp. He was a legend because no matter how many times he fumbled, he never quit. And as he liked to say, a fumble ain't a failure if it still gets you the win. It's Veach season, baby. If that doesn't give you hope in this dark and depressing world that we live in, that as long as you keep on fighting and trying, that you can persevere and that you can win out in the end, I don't know what will.
The only problem is in that story is our Crocky J, he fumbled it. I did not see him take a snap behind the back and then didn't hand off to Mahomes anytime the remainder of the season. So I'm hoping at some point we might see Crocky J, get the crock on the people.
I mean, it depends.
Or you can actually calm that down a little bit, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, if he gives him the old Crocky J, you better watch out.
Yeah.
Wrap up the Crocky J before you give it to somebody. That's a rule. That's some advice out there for you boys and girls. You wrap up the Crocky J before you give it to somebody.
Put the pads on.
And don't buy that wrap on Amazon because it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna hold up. It ain't gonna hold up to that Bayou slime, if you know what I mean.
That's so gross. Oh boy.
Oh man. All right. So moving on.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Larry. As always, you hit a home run. You're a legend, and that's why you're the official poet laureate of each season. In other news, Xavier Worthy has sued his fiance.
Good.
For damages. Yeah, and
she fabricated that shit.
Yeah, and so I reached out to our official legal counsel for Veach season, Mr. James Todd Esquire, and he said, "I saw that he filed, and they will work it out, whatever that means." And so,
is this a behind the scenes type of thing now?
Old James is, basically, I think that they're gonna. What he's saying is that they'll come to an agreement and they'll settle out of court. And so is the prediction.
Why would you make that up? Like, why? Like, I just don't understand. It's not to the extent of the Charles Oakman thing where that girl lied about him and ruined his draft stock, didn't even make him into the NFL. But like stuff like this can ruin somebody's career, and it could have obviously almost did.
Yeah, it did almost ruin his career, especially because people were already labeling him like it's not like she was saying that he
Sean Oakman
stole her what? Oh yeah, Sean
Oakman. Yeah.
It's not like she was saying that he like stole her car and wrecked it, or even drove recklessly like Rushy Rice. Like there's a different level of condemnation for somebody who commits gender-based violence in our society and our culture, right? Like there's two things that you can get a DUI, you can embezzle money, you can do a lot of stupid shit. You can become a drug addict, you can pick up a prostitute and cheat on your wife. There's all these things that people will forgive you for in time. But if you hurt a dog or hurt a woman, you're done.
Yep.
Like in our culture, like that's just what it is, right? And so the fact that she accused him of that, it's rough.
Cool.
It's not cool because you're messing with somebody's livelihood, their career, and their future earning potential on top of that. Speaking of future earning potential, one person who it feels like has his earning potential set in stone every single year, like you can set it like clockwork, is Mike Pennel. He's going to get that 1 year vet contract every single year that he's going to sign sometime around this time of year. And then next year he's going to sign the same thing. And it's just the exact same thing in a different year. And that guy's literally probably going to play until he's 45 and just continue signing 1 year contracts with the Chiefs. And I'm fine with it because he's a great run defending defensive lineman.
But when's he gonna start to regress? Father Time has never lost.
No, Father Time has never lost, but his style of play is I stand there and I'm immovable and I take up space.
It's
And
true.
then when the running back comes to me, I reach out and I grab him.
That's
Right.
true.
And like
That's
he's
true.
not he's not
I mean,
he's
Vance
not re-
Wilfork did do that until he's like 40. So
yeah, he's not relying on explosive plays. He's relying on being a big mother effer who has old man strength.
yeah, that's
And
true. All I know
and
is with this signing, this re-signing, how you want to quote it, this has been an underwhelming offseason for the Chiefs, like a free agency
this has been
wise.
exactly what you should expect for this offseason. It's the
But
exact same thing they did last. It's the exact same thing they did last offseason.
I get it. They brought the guys back that helped them get to the Super Bowl, but did they win the Super Bowl last year? No. So like, what's the point of bringing these guys back? And I get it. They're gonna be on team friendly
That's a
deals,
crazy standard.
but it's the truth though. It's like I get that you won consecutively, then you got to the one you lost. If you're trying to win every single time, you have to replace some of the holes in the boat. There's holes in the boat that need to be replaced, and you're not replacing them right now.
It's almost like there's an NFL draft coming up where they could do that.
That's true. That's very true. But like, if you could
I mean,
do some of it now in free agency, why not?
Veach's whole approach is to say, okay, shore up all the holes ahead of the draft, then draft, then let's see what's left, and then improve the team. Like the Chiefs are still going to add 2 to 3 more guys post draft.
Yeah,
in free agency. And the reason why you say, why don't you do it now? Because you can get a guy for 4 cheap years in the draft who's going to shore up a hole.
But these signings before the NFL draft is telling. Like the Kareem Hunts, the Mike Pennel, the Drew Smith-Schuster. Those are deals that should have been after draft. So what exactly are they trying to say here about how this upcoming draft is supposed to be curated or given to us to witness and watch? I'm starting to lose just a little bit of trust in what their mentality is and what they think what's upcoming draft is going to be all about.
No way, dude. I think the exact opposite. I think that these free agent signings are that they are filling every single hole on the roster so that they can zero in on the prospects that they want and that they've identified, and that it's okay if they have to trade some resources in order to move up and get the guys that they've locked in on, because they don't have 1,000 holes they have to fill. Like, that's not saying that these positions are strengths, but they're not. They're no worse off than they were last year. And the only real position of weakness they had last year was offensive tackle. Like, if they had offensive tackles, they stand a decent shot of at least competing in that Super Bowl.
Yeah, but you're not going to get I'm just assuming Jalen Moore is going to be the starting left tackle, because I don't think, from what we saw what they tried to do last year with Kingsley, they're not going to draft a guy left tackle and start him week 1. They're just not. That's not going to happen.
Oh, should we go and talk about this now, about the top 30 visits? And
yeah, we can if you want to. Yeah.
Okay, so the Chiefs have finally picked up steam on their top 30 visits a little bit. They so far they brought in 7 offensive linemen and 1 cornerback, and then there's also a rumor that they brought in another offensive lineman that can't be confirmed. It's Lichtenstein, the tall dude from Oregon State, who I really
big
like.
Mother trucker. Yeah,
the beast out of Oregon State. There's a rumor that they came in and they had a visit with him. They also had a top 30 visit with Anthony Belton from North Carolina State, offensive tackle, who I think is pretty underwhelming as a player. He's not overly strength, doesn't anchor really well, doesn't really have very fast feet, gets beat, gets out over his skis, has some bad balance. I just wasn't impressed with him or any of his reps, really, when I watched him. They also, Most Vavau, guard prospect, Esapole, small school guy, another like tackle guard prospect, UDFA type of guy. Bryce Cable-Dew, who is also a guard prospect, even though he played left tackle at KU. He has like 32-inch arms. Like, his arms are not long enough to play tackle in the NFL. He's going to shift inside to guard. Caleb Etienne, the left tackle from BYU, is worse than Kingsley Suamataia.
he's just big.
He's like, listen, he is great. He is the offensive line equivalent of Tano Passanio, where he looks awesome getting off of the bus, but once he's playing football, he's a pusher, not a blocker, and then sometimes a holder when they get past him. Like, Like he doesn't he really looks clueless
But
out
slow,
there.
very slow.
Oh, slow, clueless, out of position, gets beat, hesitant, unsure of his hands, unsure of his feet, unsure of what to do. Just
Raw.
like he's not raw. Like I said, like on Twitter, I said he's not raw in the sense that he's like ground beef and he's returned into a hamburger. Like he's still a GD living cow. Like that's how raw he is. Like that's where he's at right now. And so if the Chiefs draft him, I have like he should be off the board. Like maybe a UDFA developmental prospect. Ariante Ursi, local Kansas City boy. Not quite as long as I expected him to be at the combine. He didn't have the measurables that I thought he was going to have. He's a lot like I think he's a lot like Kingsley. Like him and Kingsley, their tape look a lot alike. Sure, he has some upside. He has some decent athleticism, some feet. But he's just really inconsistent in his balance, and he doesn't get low enough in his squat, and his pad levels off. And so I really struggle with Ariante Ursi and him. And then the one person they brought in who was not an offensive lineman was Melvin Smith Jr., who is a cornerback out of Arkansas State. And this guy's probably the most exciting top 30 visit guy they've had so far. Just because at his pro day ran a 4.38 40, 38-inch vertical. Even though we know how I feel about vertical and how it translates to football, it's not that important. He's an athletic freak, right? And that's something that the Chiefs have missed on the back end, is some athleticism at defensive back. But all this is to say that I think that I'm gonna call my shot here, Kramer, about what the Chiefs are going to do in this draft. I think there's enough evidence reading between the lines, in my opinion, to say that I think I know what they're going to do in the draft. And I could be completely off, because I said there was no way they're going to draft Xavier Worthy last year.
I
But
hit the nail on the head on that one.
Year before that, though, I said that the Chiefs should draft Rashee Rice and that he was a stud. So you win some,
Check
and
that
you lose.
off the list.
Yeah. So, but what I think is what's happening here is that 2 years ago and last year, when the Chiefs were focused on bringing in wide receivers for Patrick Mahomes, you saw them bring in every single prospect, like top end prospect, and practice with Mahomes. Like 2 years ago, it was Quentin Johnson, Zay Jones, all these guys coming in, going down to Texas, throwing with Mahomes, and that was all over social media that he was throwing to these guys, that these guys were working out, and that the Chiefs were targeting one of these guys in the draft. Draft comes out, they drafted Rashee Rice. Come to find out, Rashee Rice was also down there, but it wasn't really publicized all over social media. The Chiefs kept it quiet. They kept it hush hush, because the Chiefs love to throw up smoke screens, right? They love to play 3D chess and try to throw people off the scent of what's going on. I think that's exactly what's happening here, is that they are bringing in every single UDFA late round offensive tackle that they are not going to draft. They're bringing in all the guys that they're not going to draft to take a look at as possible UDFA options or late round options, but with the idea of throwing the scent off of what they're actually going to do, which I believe is trade up and take a left tackle in the draft. And who that left tackle is going to be, it's hard to say. Gun to my head, just because you got to say it with your chest, and you don't have any balls if you don't actually put a name to a prediction, right? Like you can't just say, "Oh, they're going to trade up and take a left tackle." That's kind of a gutless and flimsy prediction. So I'm going to say it with my chest, and even though I'm not for sure who it's going to be, I'm going to say I'm going to say a name, and I'm saying it's Kelvin Banks Jr. I'm calling it. Chiefs are going to trade up into the 20s and take Kelvin Banks Jr. Maybe they're going to trade with Pittsburgh, right? And at 21, and take Kelvin Banks Jr. at that position. Trade pick number 95 or 133 in a 2026 fourth round, or whatever they got to do. They'll find a way to package up the picks to get up there.
Which is that's a key spot, because the Chargers could draft Kelvin Banks theoretically, like at guard. Imagine Joe Alton him next to each other. I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, I think that if I'm Kelvin Banks, I'm pissed off because I want at least a shot to play tackle in the NFL.
Oh, for sure.
And there's enough guard prospects out there that you probably don't have to waste your first round draft pick on one too. Like Ozzy Trapilo from the Boston College tackle
Love
whose
him.
arms are too short. Like he's going to be an awesome guard. He's going to be a great guard prospect. And so if you're looking for a guard, like I might take him over anybody else as for a guard because he has that mentality. He has like that Trey Smith knock your head off type of mentality that you're looking for.
I do think the Chiefs do trade up, and I would love them to get Kelvin Banks Jr. because they desperately need that left tackle. And like how we just talked about earlier, if there's a guy that you want to start day one at left tackle, it'd be him. I'm just curious to see if they can actually get up 21, or could they get up even more than 19 or 18? Like I don't think they can get past 18. Just don't like kind of like how we tried to do that mock last week. If you haven't done so, go look and see what we did there mocking wise. But I don't. It's gonna be very hard to see if they can move up. If anybody wants to trade with the Chiefs this year.
Well, that's the whole thing too. Is if you're going to get up any higher than that,
Where's Buffalo at?
Like who do you like? If you're going to get up higher than that, like who are you going to get up higher to take? If it's going to be an offensive lineman, like Armand Membu, like is that your target? Will Campbell, is that your target? Like
so that's at least your top three. Those guys that we just mentioned.
Yeah. And in my mind, I don't think there's a lot of difference between Will Campbell and Kelvin Banks Jr. as far as players go. I think that they're pretty similar and pretty equal in my mind of what they do. I love Armand Membu, but he's also a right tackle and never played left tackle before. So there is that unknown. Do I think that he could switch? Do I think that he could shift? Of course I do. I think that he's that talented. But it does give you some pause there, right? And so do I think that it's worth the additional assets to move up to 10 or 12 or whatever you're gonna have to do to get him versus taking Kelvin Banks Jr. at 19 or 21? I think that that's the move.
You just gotta get up there. That's the thing. You just have to get up there. And if you can't, then you're screwed. And then you have to basically. I mean, what about do you like the tackle out of Ohio State, Williams?
I don't hate him.
He's just a big body. That's how I see him as.
Yeah, I
see mocking him to the Chiefs, and he could actually be there at 31.
Yeah, I don't hate him. I don't hate Josh Simmons. I don't hate
Josh Simmons isn't bad.
I don't hate. I obviously really like Connerly Jr. as well. They may be able to sit at 31 and take Connerly Jr. And maybe that's the move. Maybe they're not trading up, and they're going to sit at 31 and take Connerly Jr. Whatever.
Simmons is who I meant. I don't know why I said Williams. There's
whatever they end up doing, though, I think that two things. One, Veach has in his mind the person that he wants, and he's going to go get him if he has to. And two, they're going to make this bold decision of the person that they want, right? They're not going to be passive and wait and say, okay, we're going to let this person fall to us in this draft. Or we have a lot of times you hear them talking about there's pockets of players that they like, right? And then they'll say, okay, so we're going to say, okay, in round 2, there's a pocket of defensive tackles that we really liked. So we were okay with trading back because one of these 5 guys was going to be there that we really liked, right? You hear Veach say those sort of things all the time, and I 100% agree with it. But also, you'll hear him say, we wanted this guy, and we were going to go get him, right? You know what I mean? And so, Patrick Mahomes is obviously a very unique case, but he was going to go get Patrick. They were and of course, John Dorsey was the GM at that time, but no matter what, the Chiefs were going to go get Patrick Mahomes come hell or high water in that draft. I feel like once Xavier Worthy beat that 40 time, that the Chiefs were going to get Xavier Worthy. Like they didn't have to trade up for him, but I felt like they were going to do whatever they had to do. If they had to trade it for Xavier Worthy, I think they would have, right? Because they wanted that 40 time. I feel like they started coveting it, and they identified as that was the guy that they wanted last year.
If they don't trade up, though, if they don't, and they're just picking there right at 31, I bet you anything they're going to pick the guy that they had at their pro day with Ursery of Minnesota. That's just he's decent enough. I know you don't want him. But He's a late first rounder, mid second rounder. That's going to be picked.
He's another guy who needs a redshirt year.
That's true, but I mean, I think he's more ready than Kingsley. I truly believe that. Really,
I honestly think that they're the same player.
I give the edge to Minnesota boy. That conference is so much better than what Kingsley was playing in last year or 2 years ago.
Doesn't fix his leverage and his hand placement.
Well, at least he's been able to go up against Big Ten talent players. A lot of good edge rushers come out of the Big Ten.
He can go up against. He gets beat by them a lot too.
Yeah, but I mean, you have a revolving door at left tackle right now with nobody basically.
So what? You're going to get a saloon door at left tackle, like just a slightly.
They already had that. There's one on the right tackle right now.
I mean, Jesus, no! Like you got to be bold and make a move.
Or you get a right tackle, and you get a left tackle this draft. Well, I'd be game for that. I don't care how much money you're giving Juwan Taylor. He proven that he sucks.
I don't disagree with you on that. I don't disagree with you on that at all. Heck, I think that you take tackles, defensive linemen, and a running back in this draft and call it good. Like, honest to God,
you have to get a running back. I
think pass rusher. You need a pass rusher. You need an offensive tackle. You need a running back. Those are the three must-haves in this draft. Everything else, I think.
What if Mike Green falls
to 31?
Yeah,
I pass on him.
You're passing on Mike. Oh man, I would
pass on Mike Green.
Heartbeat.
Pass on Mike Green.
No, him at edge. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, I'd rather have Jack Sawyer or Jared Ivey.
Mike Green's an animal, dude. I don't care if he's playing in a weaker conference. He's a stud.
He's good. He's
a genetic freak.
Nah, he's fine. He's a fine player. He's an okay guy. I'm not passing on an offensive tackle for Mike Green. If it's between Josh Carnley Jr. even and Mike Green, I'm taking Josh Carnley Jr. every single time. It's 10 times out of 10.
Okay.
But let's fight about it because let's do a cheese. Let's just do a quick cheese mock draft before we get out of here.
Let's do it.
Some things have changed. They've had some top 30 visits. They re-signed Pennel so that they don't really need a nose tackle like they did prior, as desperately. So let me just share my screen here. I got it brought up. Let's go ahead and just do one more quick mock draft to see where we sit right now as we continue to get closer.
Cool
to the draft.
You know me, Rocky. I love mocking.
I love mocking too. I can mock every day. Every day I'm mocking. I'm like LMFAO except for shuffling. I'm mocking.
Heck, I was mocking for other teams earlier today because I had to get my around the AFC West out there on Arrowhead Pride.
Yeah. See, oh man, I do like at least once a week. I do a 32 team mock just for shits and giggles.
You do all 256.
All right.
258. Mm-hmm. Is it 256? Yeah, 256.
I do 256. Yeah,
257.
I lay in bed at night after my wife falls asleep at like 9 o'clock because she's exhausted from the kids, and I just sit there and mock on my phone nonstop. All right, before the mock starts, do we want to try to move up, or do we want to sit put today at 31?
That's up to you. You said you think they can make a deal with the Steelers. You want to try to make a deal with the Steelers?
Yeah.
Let's see how the board goes for the first 10 picks, and then we'll see.
All right.
Gucci?
Let's do it. Start the draft right now. All right. Cam Ward off the board to Titans. Shedeur Sanders, number 2, off the board. Travis Hunter, number 3. Pretty predictable so far. Abdul Carter, number 4. Exactly what you think is going to happen. Ashton Genty, number 5.
Jacksonville traded up.
All right, so Will Campbell
goes
number 6 to the Raiders.
Don't hate it, but they already have a tackle unless they're getting rid of Colton Miller. Okay.
And then we know they're not trading him to the Chiefs. Armand Mimbu. Okay, so now look at this is getting interesting.
This is terrifying.
This is worst case scenario for the Chiefs because there's a run on tackles happening here.
You can't trade up to 8.
No, you can't trade up to 8. And at some point, like you risk Kelvin Banks Jr. going at number 11 in this draft to San Francisco. But you can't trade up to number 11 either. We're going to have to ride this one out and cross our fingers, I think.
Who's here for
number
Carolina?
8 is Jade Barron. Mason Graham, number 9. Matthew Golden, number 10. All right, no tackles, no tackles. Will Johnson from
There you
Michigan,
go.
San Francisco. Jihad Campbell,
There's another one.
Victoria McMillan, Jalen Walker, Mikael Williams, number 15 to Atlanta. Mike Green to the Cardinals. All right, Donovan Ezeraku, number 17 to the Bengals. All right, so now we're sitting here and we have the Seahawks coming up. They need center guard edge. I don't think they're a risk. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming up at 19, edge linebacker DB. I don't think they're a risk. I don't think that the Broncos are a risk either. They need a wide receiver, running back, and defensive interior.
The Steelers do need a tackle, though.
The Steelers do need a tackle. So let's monitor this, and if it gets to the Broncos and Kelvin Banks Jr. is still on the board, I think that we have to make a move because I don't think he's making it past the Steelers. Because at this point, I think that there's too high of a chance that they're going to take him. So let's play it out and see what happens here. Tyler Warren, number 18. Kenneth Grant. All right, so we're at 20 on
Denver would never trade with us.
Denver will not trade with us, but Pittsburgh might. Do you want to try to trade with Pittsburgh for number 21?
Yeah, it's up to you, man.
All right, let's do it.
I forced us to do the trade last week. So however you think. Maybe 133?
No, we don't need 130. We don't need. I mean, they'll probably accept it just with 2026 round 3 added in.
We'll find out.
Yeah, let's just offer the old trade. Offer it again.
All right.
Pick up the phone, call a couple of times. All right.
Now, you know what's annoying? If the Broncos take Kelvin Banks right here.
Yep. And then we see somebody picks up the phone and we see about if we want to trade back.
See if Pittsburgh wants their pick back.
Yeah, or somebody wants to pick. All right, let's hit resume. See who they're going to select. All right. Oh, Kelvin Banks.
Oh, what the hell? Oh, of course, the Broncos. Sean Payton was like, "I know what they're doing. They just traded up.
Yeah,
they jumped the gun. They jumped the gun.
Yeah. Oh, son of a
wow."
Bitch. Sean Payton was like, "I'm gonna f you guys over." All right. Well, we're sitting at 21. We have some trade offers we can entertain.
Let's take a look at them. Let's take a look at the trade offers.
We have James Pierce. All right, Minnesota Vikings offering us number 24. Washington Commanders at 29. Philadelphia Eagles at 32. If we trade back to 29 and we give them 21, we can get. I bet you they would accept 61 and 29 for 21, which is crazy because we gave up way less than that.
Yeah. Let's make a draft pick. We trade up here.
24 and 97. Yeah, we could do 24 and 97. You want to take a guy because we moved up?
Yeah, let's take a guy.
All right.
Malachi Starks is good.
Yeah, Luther Burden is good. James Pierce is good.
I like James Pierce a lot.
I like James Pierce a lot as well. He is a great pass rusher.
He'd be like your best available defensive guy right now.
100% he is. He might be best player on the board right now. I mean, if Luther Burden wasn't there. All right.
There's Walter Nolan.
Yeah, we said pass rushers and running backs and offensive tackles, right? There's Josh Simmons. Let's take James Pierce and see what happens.
I like it. It's a great pick.
All right. We're going to speed this up a little bit because we're not going to trade anymore right now. All right, it's going to come up on pick 63 here pretty quick for us. I cannot believe that the
fact
Denver
that
Broncos
happened.
did
Oh,
those
man. That's
SOBs.
Of course. It's the Broncos, of course.
Yeah. All right, so now here at 63, we got Shamar Turner,
It's not bad.
Omar Norman, Benjamin Watson. I like that pick. I'd like Benjamin Morrison. Cornerback out of Notre Dame. I like him a lot. Dylan Sampson. Jordan
Alfred
Birch.
Collins is a massive human being.
Yeah.
There's Ozzy, but do you take him?
There is. We don't need a guard in the second round. I would almost take. I would say Benjamin Morrison makes a lot of sense here.
A lot of cooks in the kitchen. If it comes to corner, then they'll be the fourth corner.
Yeah, I mean, but Jalen.
But Watson. I mean, they also do nickel, so I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, they start as you gotta have depth. Dylan Sampson. I mean,
I'm either on the lines of Dylan Sampson or Alfred Collins.
I'm gonna say Dylan Sampson then.
All right, let's do it. They need a running back. The Chiefs desperately need a running back, and they have to draft one. It's like you can get Alfred Collins here if you truly wanted to.
If you really wanted him, you get Alfred Collins right here. Man, we're getting all right. We're just gonna keep building up. We're just gonna build up the defensive line. Is that what we're doing?
Let's do it, man. That's what all the battle starts in the trenches. Even though we're fortifying one side.
All right, Alfred Collins it is. Let's take Alfred Collins here at pick 66. Man, I can't believe it. Our Kelvin Banks Gamble.
Of course, we tried, man.
Like that. I'm so on tilt right now because of it. All right, so now we're sitting here at 95. We got Cameron Williams there. Anthony Belton, I don't like. Dorian Strong, Deion Walker, Jeffrey Bassa is not bad. There's your guy Isaiah Bond.
Like him a lot.
Joshua Farmer's not bad. I mean, do you take Cameron Williams?
There's Anthony Belton.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Not a fan. He's not that good.
I mean, we're also in the third round, so where are we at on the tackle? And this is a very weak and very thin tackle class.
And that's what I'm saying. At this point, we might as well just take Holland Pierce here.
Harold Fanning Jr.'s you don't need a tight end, but
yeah, he's not bad. I mean, take a second running back.
No, we're not taking two running. We're not taking two running backs. I do like Sebastian Castro out of Iowa.
All right, let's take Sebastian Castro. I like him. You want to do that?
You're getting good value out of him, I think, here.
All right, Sebastian Castro, safety out of Iowa. We're gonna get cooked on this mock draft.
Yeah, I think so as well. I do.
This is not our best one.
I mean, but hey, that's the fact. That's the fun part about mocking.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't work out in your favor. All right. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. My guy. My guy showed out at the Big 12 combine.
There's Crenshaw Dixon.
Yeah, he sucks too, though.
Chase Lunt's just massive.
Yeah.
No, I refuse to take another Oregon tackle.
He's more of a guard guy.
But Chiefs do need guard. They need depth in guard. So I mean, like, do you really want to go Mike Caliendo for 17 games?
No, they're gonna go with Kingsley Suamataia.
Gosh, that just sounds terrible, dude. It just sounds so bad saying his name in a starting rotation. Not offense to the guy. Chase Lunt wouldn't be bad.
You want to take Chase Lunt?
Go for it. Because you can also move him to guard. Be a big ass guard, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I drafted him as a guard. I wouldn't take him as a tackle.
He doesn't have the arms.
In my mind, he's 100% a guard.
Raiders took Corksy Merritt. Yo, what are these forfeit picks coming from the? You forfeit picks in this thing?
Yeah.
You saw that with the Falcons? They said forfeit pick.
That's awesome.
Heck, even the 49ers had one I thought I saw.
That's hilarious. All right, 226.
Now we're just scraping the crust off the shit sandwich that we given ourselves.
100%. We went from trading up for an offensive tackle to
Getting cooked like Brady
let's
Cook.
let's just see who's out there.
Who's a project?
Paul
There we
Pierce.
go. There we
Paul
go. Our
Pierce.
guy.
And our Gerard Christian. Should we just take back-to-back big-ass tackles?
Might as well.
I mean, might as well. Give us a couple bookends.
One of them will be drafted. I hope not.
All right, so we got Holland Pierce. Let's see. If our other guy's there, we're taking him.
Have to. I believe he's there.
Gerard Christian Leichenhain. Leichenhain. All right, there we go. We got the two biggest tackles in the draft.
We went with girth.
And
we went with girth in this one.
Yeah, I like Jalen Walker. He's pretty good. Well, if we're gonna go with girth, though, there's only one player we can take, and that's Howard Cross III, right?
Have to. Yes.
Mr. Irrelevant. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, this is a big ass boy club right here, boy.
If you like hogs, they got him in this one.
Yeah. All right. So let's go over and see what the Chiefs did here. Round one, they took James Pierce Jr., pass rusher, number 21, trade up for him. Not a bad pick. Took another back-to-back Tennessee boys. Round two, Dylan Sampson, running back, another great player, super electric. Maybe a little high for him, but we made a move.
We took three straight tackles.
We followed our conviction. Alfred Collins, nose tackle, round three. Round three, pick number 35, number 95, Sebastian Castro, safety out of Iowa. And then this is where the meat, Alfred Collins was really the start of the meat, but then the meat hit when we went Chase Lunt, Holland Pierce, Gerard Christian, Leichenhain, and Howard Cross III.
By the way, the back half of our draft, I think we nailed it.
Thick ass boys, thick ass beef in the second half of the draft.
I can't remember what was our grade last week.
I think it was a B also.
Was it a B as well? One of these days we'll get an A.
Yeah, I had an A the other day.
Really?
I had an A the other day. All you got to do is just take it's pretty easy to get an A. You just got to take the highest ranked, highest need player.
That makes sense.
And then they give it to you, right? Like if we did another one really fast, let's just we'll speed pick one really quick, and I'll show you. There's a bonus draft here, people. We're going turbo mode, no trades. Turbo mode, no trades. We're just going to go highest pick, highest need, and highest rank. So right here, James Pierce Jr.
He fell?
Yeah, falls. Yeah, that makes us look like real shitty GMs that he fell to 31 in the second draft. Yeah. And we traded up to 21 to take him last time, especially because Josh Carnley Jr. is also here.
Yikes.
All right, we're taking James Pierce Jr., first pick in the draft. I'll wait until we
traded up to get him.
Yeah, we sure did.
Ridiculous.
And then
there's Essery.
Yeah, but watch, we're going to take Shamar Turner here because defensive line is still a need here. Oh, I guess we take Ursary though. Yeah, take Ursary because he's highly ranked.
Stud.
Yeah, but remember, this is all about we're literally taking
you're right.
The highest ranked, highest need to get our
to meet our quota.
And to get our high ranking. All right, so then now here we're gonna take Cameron Williams as well. And the next pick we'll take a running back.
I know you love Cameron Williams.
Yeah, Mr. Slow ass lead feet. I mean, he's big, he's got talent. He just needs so much work. I take Barrett Carter here at pick 133.
He flies.
Yeah, it's actually a really good pick at 133. Maybe this is the way we should have been doing this all along.
Shoot from the hip.
Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Just take the top rated guy.
They really not have they don't have a 5th or 6th round pick. They have a 6th round pick.
No.
They do, man. That's wild.
Yeah. All right. And then now we come all the way down here. All right, we look here. We say, hey, Luke Leachy, Let's take or Jackson Slater because he's a guard.
Yeah, Slater.
We don't have a guard yet on our selection. All right, keep going. All right,
Montrell
we're gonna
Johnson.
do. Yeah, we can do Montrell Johnson. Sure. They're gonna say Ty Robinson was a higher rated pick. Watch. That's what they're gonna get you with. And then we're gonna go with Dante Trader Jr. just to round it out. They're gonna give us an A. They're gonna give us an A. Watch.
You've earned an award.
Yeah, you're earning an award every time.
Oh,
Look at that! Look at that! A.
Holy!
They didn't even
shoot.
like the Dante Trader pick, and they gave us an A. If we would have stuck with guard, defensive tackle, or right here, they would have given us another A.
Hey, we got an A though.
All you got to do is stick to positions of need and take the highest rated position of need. And
I'm just irritated because of the fact that we traded up to get James Pierce, so we wanted to trade up to get Calvin Banks Jr., but yet we let James Pierce fall to us in this little second one.
Yeah.
That's why you're the best, Brett. That's why you're the best.
We didn't have the ass beef on the back end though, like we had in the first one.
That's true about a bunch of thin boys, fast boys.
Well, that being said, thank you for the privilege of your time. As always, thanks for rocking with us. We love you guys. Be good to each other, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side next time. Beach season, baby.